What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. As you can see the button down there, don't wait, click subscribe, join the Sooner Surge community, the family. We're here on a Thursday lunchtime afternoon, 2 days before OU kicks off with the SMU Mustangs. Excited about this week, this matchup, little evening, nighttime atmosphere there at the stadium. And let's get into it, Jay. Just some things maybe that you're looking forward to in this game.
Well, I'm very interested to see just kind of with the injury update. You got Drake Stoops. Will he play? We heard Brent Venable say basically he wanted to go back into the game the other day, but they held him out. So it'll be interesting to see if they play him. Also, you got the guys that were held out, R. Mason Thomas and Gavin Sawchuk, that Venable said they are available. So how much will that affect the running back room? Sawchuk, and whose carries will he take? I'm very anxious to see Sawchuk out there. I think he's a really talented player, and we saw a lot from him in the Cheez-It Bowl last year. So interested for that, as well as R. Mason Thomas. I mean, he played last year a little bit. He's a guy that they talk about a lot, and just going to be interesting to see where he fits on that rotation. It was pretty deep the other day. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what they do on that aspect. Obviously, the other injury, we'll see on that one as well.
Yeah, and one thing I'm really intrigued by is, if this game is tight at all, how deep is OU going to go? How deep into their depth chart will they go? I mean, we know they played so many guys last week. It wasn't a surprise. That's something that was expected. We've heard about the competitive depth, but I think it'll be interesting, Jay, is if this game gets close, how many running backs are they going to go with? You mentioned Sawchuk, and I definitely think Sawchuk is one of the top guys there. So it's going to be interesting how they split the carries in that. How many receivers they continue to roll out there. Defensive side of the ball, how many linebackers are going to get in the rotation this week if the game is somewhat close? I think that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, and we're going to find out a lot. I mean, I mentioned injuries. McCullough, too, is another one. Is he going to play or not? They're going to hold him out. But to me, this game, obviously this game, but also TU after. But let's just look at this game. We're going to find a lot out about the defense, in my opinion. Rhett Lashley is an offensive-minded coach. He's kind of a little bit from the Gus Malzahn tree. He played in Springdale there. He coached under Malzahn, I believe. He likes to throw it around, but after talking to Rich Phillips there on what day was that Tuesday, the play-by-play guy, he likes to run the ball as well, and they got two really good running backs that transferred in. So it's going to be a true test for this defense, whereas last year, I don't think OU really got tested defensively until after that Nebraska game when they brought K-State in. K-State came into town, then you had TCU and all that. So it's going to be a test. It's a game OU should win, obviously, but I think it will be. We'll know a lot more after week 2 than we did after week 1, in my opinion, defensively especially.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure we're going to know more about the Sooners. SMU they're going to pose some issues. Their secondary is pretty strong. We're going to see DG have to be even more on his game maybe than he was last week, and he was excellent last week. We're going to have Ryan Leaf on tomorrow, he's going to be the play-by-play guy there as this
color guy.
Color guy. Sorry, ESPN Plus on Saturday. So be interesting what he says about this matchup. But if we're going to go by Jay, a guy that you would look for to play a huge role this week, who would you go with?
Offensively?
Let's go offensive and defensively.
Offensively, I think it's going to be one of those receivers, and I'm not quite sure which one yet. I'd probably say Anthony again. I think Anthony's just that guy that can beat him deep. But you look at it, the first game they spread it around so well that I don't know if you're going to have one guy at receiver. If anybody watched OU DNA last night, Emmett Jones is the real deal, guys. Emmett Jones, the way he talks to the receivers about physicality on route running, on blocking, whatever it is, he basically said, if you're not physical, you're not playing in my offense. as a receiver. And so I think you could see that even in week one, like they're route running, they're physical. So I'm pumped about the receiver room. And I think one of those guys is going to have a big game, if not multiple of them. That's kind of what I'd be watching for. Defensively, I look for defensive end. I think if you listen to Venable's press conference, he did talk about PJ Adebawore, getting more run as the season progresses because he was injured a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to have a huge game on Saturday. I do think, though, sack wise, where we were talking about it after week one, that, they just didn't get a whole lot. One sack, I believe, by Downs. I think you're going to see that unit get a few more sacks this week.
Yeah, I would agree. We know that's something that if there was anything Sooner fans complained about, it was the lack of pressure. And I don't know that the reason was there, that the justification was there against Arkansas State because how quickly they got rid of the ball. But OU's going to have to pressure Preston Stone. They're going to have to get pressure on him. The DBs are going to be tested. But I think Stutzman and Kanik are two guys on defense I expect, and I want to see those two guys together again, just being in the middle of everything. On the offensive side of the ball, for me personally, I want to see Jalil Farouk be the guy and make more plays. He didn't make that many plays last week. Of course, wasn't targeted a whole lot, but I mean, he technically is wide receiver one. So I'd like to see Farouk get a little more involved. But again, the depth that they have at the receiver position causes me to not be really concerned about whether or not Farouk does get that. But just me personally, I'd like to see Farouk get a little more targeted.
Yeah, and I think the Farouk thing last week is, he just didn't get the opportunity the way I think he had the one reverse or swing pass and just the one down the sideline he could have hit him in the hands. That was the only one really was another opportunity. But one thing I know from watching Brent Venable's defenses in the past is you're going up against Preston Stone, believe making his second career start, maybe third. He started one game last year, I believe. So it's Brent Venables is going to bring pressure on him. Young quarterback. He's a really talented guy. He can throw the ball around. So I think we'll see a lot more complexity from the defense this week because I think they were very vanilla last week. And I'm not saying there's going to be a ton, but there's going to be some wrinkles this week to try to confuse Stone, I believe.
Oh, yeah. That's a no-brainer. It's going to happen. And it's here, guys. We're two days away. It's going to be a great test for the Sooners as they battle SMU. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, that you're seeing what's going on. We got a lot of new things happening. Sooner Surge Game Time will be out tomorrow. Drop that episode tomorrow. Ryan Leaf, the color analyst there for ESPN, will be on tomorrow to preview this game. And you guys be a part of it. Subscribe. Drop your comments on what you're looking forward to on Saturday night, guys. Till next time. Boomer.